When I was a little girl, the kids in my neighborhood would sometimes play flashlight tag on summer nights. One person would have a flashlight and try to tag the other kids by catching them in the beam. My backyard was an ideal place to play. There was a field off to the side where corn used to be grown, but it had been fallow for a while. I only remember the corn because my sister had an allergic reaction to the insecticide they sprayed on it. There was also an old cemetery from the 1800s behind our house, with plenty of trees and bushes for cover. The local Boy Scout troop would come out once a month to clean the gravestones and mow the grass. Jimmy was it. He had a big, blindingly bright mag light that was borrowed from his dad's garage. It was so much nicer than our cheap plastic flashlights, batteries rattling inside as we ran. Jimmy was older than most of us, much bigger, and could be mean when he was angry. No one dared accuse him of cheating, even though his flashlight may as well have been a spotlight. I crouched behind a prickly bush while he counted, inching as close as I dared without getting scratched or catching my hair in the branches. I held my breath as he turned and began his search, the beam of his flashlight slowly gliding through the darkness. The light shifted, then bobbed away as Jimmy caught sight of someone yelling, "I see you!" I covered my mouth with my hands to stifle the giggles, thrilling as only a child can in the anxious excitement of hiding from another child. Jimmy's heavy tread faded as he gave pursuit to his victim. It sounded like he was headed into the back of the cemetery where it wasn't maintained. It was overgrown and a little dangerous back there. My mom didn't like anyone out that far in the dark. I stood up to yell that to Jimmy, willing to accept being it if that meant that my mother wouldn't forbid us from playing at all in the future. But before I could say anything, Jimmy screamed. It wasn't a normal scream, like the startled cry of someone walking into a spider web or the pained shout of somebody tripping over a low gravestone. This was a scream of pure terror. I ran in that direction. A few other curious kids abandoned their hiding places to investigate it too. Jimmy's flashlight was on the ground, and Jimmy was gone. We called out for him, but there was no response. One of the other boys, Kyle, picked up the maglite. "Really funny, Jimmy. You can come out now." He shined the beam around in a slow sweep of the area. Something moved. He quickly flickered the light over to the movement. There was a little girl, paler than anyone I had ever seen before. She had no eyes, but she was looking right at us. It was impossible to explain how you could just know something like that, and the knowledge makes my blood run cold. Kyle dropped the flashlight and ran. The rest of us ran too. I don't remember much after that. It was dark and humid. I bruised my shin at some point. It wasn't a long run back to my house, but my lungs were burning. The back porch light was on. My mom always flashed the light twice, then left it on when it was time to finish playing and come in for the night. A small group of us gathered, confused and scared, at the foot of the porch steps. It felt safe in the light, but there was an uncertainty, the kind of lurching feeling you get when you reach the bottom of the stairs and there's still another stair you didn't expect. Someone asked about Kyle. He wasn't there. The next day, the police asked all of us questions about Kyle and Jimmy. I didn't mention the pale girl. Only a few of us had seen her, and none of us were willing to admit it. They never found any sign of either of the boys. To this day, I rarely use a flashlight, and when I do, I keep it pointed at my feet. You never know what might happen if it shines in the wrong place at the wrong time.